the more I can help the world. So I appreciate you guys, all other stuff aside. But what I will say is only time will tell, man. Only time will tell, because we sometimes when it comes to other people in certain situations, we want to accelerate the outcome, right? So some people will be going through like traumatic experiences, or there will be a brand new revelation of information, and you basically want to get to the best definition of the resolution. You want to have clarity. But the craziest part about it is sometimes you won't get clarity. Sometimes you won't get closure. After my 3.5-year relationship ended because I was cheated on, I wanted closure and I wanted clarity. I wanted complete transparency on why everything happened. But it wasn't up to me. It was up to the girl. And what I had to learn is only time would have told the end of that story, because just because you want something to be true, just because you want people to tell you don't mean that they're going to do that. Doesn't mean that they're going to do that. So time doesn't heal all wounds, but time identifies the injury. Time doesn't heal all wounds, but time identifies the injury. Time is like an x-ray, right? You're going to figure out which bone is damaged. You're going to figure out the timetable for that damage. And some things are kind of like a reprobate. There's no way that you can recover from that. There's no way that you can redeem yourself. It's irredeemable. So certain things that people have done are irredeemable. But just figuring out what led them to doing it, why they did that, the people affected, and how they're going to move forward is closure. It's clarity. It's transparency. But when you're sitting around and you're like, so maybe this was that. Maybe this was that. Maybe I did that. If they hadn't did this, woo, 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 whoop-de-woo. But you don't never know the true answer, because you're not the complete source. You see, what I tell people all the time is, and I have to remind myself sometimes because I be wanting to accelerate the process, but you can only control yourself. You can't control other people. There are two things that you can control in your life. You can control yourself, and no, there's only one. Because your pets, at the end of the day, no matter how much you discipline them, they can make their own decisions that they want to. You can only control yourself. You can only control yourself. You can control yourself, you can control your actions, and you can control your reactions. Let me say that again. You can control your actions, and you can control your reactions. So what I will say, guys, is time, you have to let time be time. If you try to race time, let me tell you something, you're never going to win that race. And that's why I tell you guys, marathon. Marathon versus a sprint. Because one thing about time can run longer than David Goggins. Ooh! Time can run longer than David Goggins. Time can run longer than the most fast distance runner you ever knew. We have an entry time, and we have a departure time. It's not like when you get on a plane and you have a boarding pass, right? You know when you're going to board and you know when you're going to land. Same way it goes with our lives, but time goes on. Life goes on. So you have to let life go on in order to get that closure, in order to get that clarity. And sometimes you have to understand there might be a realistic outcome that you might not ever get clarity and closure. So you just have to let things be what they be and get things from around you that don't need to be around you. So with that being said, man, I'm finna go to conclude this message. If anybody has anything pertaining to the topic that I just spoke about, leave a comment. And if you guys would like to extend this episode, I'd like to see 500 roses by the time I get done reading the comments. If not, make sure you guys tap the follow on the bell button. I'm coming back with the third episode, man. We working hard. We going hard today. And happy birthday to Prince Kane. Shout out to my moderators, man. The goal is to pay attention in the classroom. Yeah, that's the goal, man. You come up in here and do the typey. When you come into the classroom, you don't interrupt the lesson. Sit your behind down in your chair, get out your colored pencils, and pay attention. I agree. Thank you. I'm glad that you agree. I'm just giving you some game. I see that fire. But hey, man, with that being said, man, I ain't seen 500 roses. Shout out to you guys for getting 8K likes. I hope you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Peace.